Hey, what's up, y'all? This October 18th, 2025. I'm right back here in the Midwest, back in St. Louis, Missouri, and where I'm at, I'm right in Forest Park. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm going to talk about the tornado that hit St. Louis back in May 16th of 2025 of this year. And of course, it hit so hard that as you see the tree trunks, they had to cut down some of the trees because of the trunks. You know, the roots, the tornado lifted the roots up out the ground. You dig what I'm saying? You can see, you know, whatever trees have been cut down, they went on and just, you know, had to cut the trees down because it kept blocking roads and everything else, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm just gonna get to it. Somebody was asking me, you know, how I felt about this tornado. Well, I'm gonna start off by saying that for all the innocent people, and especially all the innocent black folk that got caught in this tornado, man, I pray to God that you get all the help that you need and then some. But as far as the ones that plotted on me, you know, didn't want to see me do good, always wishing bad luck on me, you know what I'm saying? You know, casting all kind of no good spells on me, this, that, and other. You know what? To y'all, this tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was also your karma. And it's been a long time coming. You dig what I'm saying? You see, man, you know what? The growing up, man, in this town, even though South Central LA is my second home, but St. Louis my first home, I grew up back on the north side. And the history of this town, as far as the racism-wise, okay, here's the thing. When racism was abolished at 1865, right? And then, of course, it took a year. The slave masters went to court for a year because they did not want to let go of their slaves. You dig what I'm saying? So when they ain't had no choice but to let go of their slaves, of course, you know, you had the slaves that was free of bondage in the state of Missouri. You dig what I'm saying? This, that, and other. But once they originated a Ku Klux Klan chapter in the state of Missouri, them same slave masters that end up being those same Ku Klux Klansmen were the ones that started that trend. Now you owe me your life. I don't want to see you have nothing. And guess what? That ghost been haunting this damn state, especially the city of St. Louis, for the past, 15, 16 decades. Better yet, for 159 years to be exact. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, the racism, here's the thing. It's so doggone bad, man, that when I was growing up, you had the ones that was in office as far as the municipal courts and all that grew up back in them Jim Crow days. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, man, this is a city where when I was growing up, man, the rednecks ain't even give a damn about they damn self. And they sure didn't want to see you, didn't give a damn about you or want to see you have nothing. It got so ridiculous that even not all, but some, not all, and much as I hate to say this, but some black folk even backstab me just as worse. Yeah, You know what? Like I said, again, with this tornado, hey, for us the innocent ones, especially the innocent black ones that got caught in this tornado, hey, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But to some of y'all, majority of y'all that wished it bad luck on me, you know, used it all kind of different sorts of, not in a positive way, but in a negative way. Not in a positive way, but in a negative way. You using all sorts of witchcraft on me, you know, all because you ain't want to see me have nothing, didn't want to see me accomplish on anything, didn't want to see me grow, none whatsoever. Guess what? This tornado in this city was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma, and it's been a long time coming. You see, yeah, man. You know, because, you know, it was like, when it came to the racism, man, the job market out here was so messed up. It was to the point, I remember when I first got out of high school, you dig what I'm saying, putting in job applications. Hey, I know that back in the day, yeah, they put your applications in the trash, but I remember one time they put my application in the shredder. You dig what I'm saying? Man, it was to a point, man, I went back out on the streets for a minute until somebody had to talk me down, and I kept job hunting. Yeah. And then when it came to working them jobs, man, I got fired from not all, but a lot of jobs here because I wasn't the one to get in all that gossip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just came to work, mind my own business, but then people would start nitpicking and nagging this, that, and the other, and they'll make it look like, you know, I'm the suspect taunting them, but all along I was really the victim just defending myself on these jobs. You dig what I'm saying? And then on top of that, man, it was so bad, man, it got to the point, man, it was like I was too busy, man, out here at the time, back in the 80s, back in the 90s, man, I was working a job and out on these streets living a life of crime. You dig what I'm saying? And half the time financially, half the time I was still getting kicked in the ass financially, half the time. You dig what I'm saying? To a point, man, but you had these folks, man, these fake son of a guns, hey, they got lucky and get all the damn bread and things like that, where you know real ones, man, they always suffered. You dig? Yeah, so I knew it wasn't a place for me because I know if I would have stayed back here, you dig what I'm saying? Man, I would have either been dead, locked up, or in and out of some damn psych ward some damn where, man. You dig what I'm saying? All because, man, folks didn't want to see me have nothing. You know, they always wished it bad on me. And then the ones that wanted to see me do good, in which it was only a select few, man, most of those ones, they only wanted to see me happy the way they want me to, but they ain't want to see me happy the way that I want. You dig what I'm saying? So it was a mess, man. I had to get the hell up out of here, man, and, you know, hey, you know, find a better way and do something else with my life. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, so when I left up out of here, you know what I'm saying, you know, went back to school or whatever, you know, got my bachelor's degree in fine arts down in Memphis College of Art in 2004. Then after that, I went back home to my second home back in California, dig? But I remember when I came back out here in August of 2017 to get my record expunged, man, look, keep in mind, at the time in August 2017, my record was 25 years old. Of course, it's damn near 30 years old now, but no, my record was 23 years old, excuse me. My record was 23 years old at the time. And when I tried to get me an expungement, man, they would not expunge my record because at the time, you still had some of them same ones that grew up back in them Jim Crow days that didn't retire just yet or didn't die off just yet, you know what I'm saying, still holding on to that same racial mentality that they always had. You dig what I'm saying? Man, keep in mind, when I came to court with a shirt, tie, slacks, man, I have a zipped up folder with a copy with my bachelor's degree in there, you know, my work status, me doing security, you dig what I'm saying, you know, I've been working ever since. Man, I even had my National Rifle Association membership up in there, a lifetime National Rifle Association membership up in there, and then the judge gonna tell me it ain't nothing they could do, in which I already know why it wasn't nothing they could do, because I'm a black man, because I'm an indigenous being. And then on top, it just gave me that reminder. Oh yeah, then with the racism with these schools, man, I remember when, I'm gonna get to that real quick. I remember, man, when I was going to Bishop Hilly Elementary School, when I was a kid, man, from kindergarten all the way to third grade, I was doing just fine until I got to fourth grade, and this undercoverly racist white female teacher named Miss Cunningham kept flunking me, and she ended up putting me in special education class. Yeah, she put me in the learning center class, man, from 5th grade all the way to 8th grade. Man, you know what? I wish I had those records on how this woman did me wrong, put me in a learning center class. You dig what I'm saying? Because I really didn't need to be up in there. She just saw, look, basically this woman saw the man in me as a kid. She saw the indigenous being that I am when I was a kid, that I didn't even see as myself when I was a kid. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what happened. You know, even though during high school I was, through, freshman year all the way to senior year, so it was all good. But yeah, man, from 5th grade all the way to 8th grade, even though I aced it through learning center, but Miss Cunningham thought I was crazy. You know, that's the reason why she put me in that class. I wish I had the records just to show proof of that, but you know what? They've been destroyed a long time ago, so it don't even matter no more. But anyway, man, that just shows you, man, the racism, how it is in this town, in which, don't get me wrong, they are out here, they're a little bit more up front with it. It ain't like down south, but let's just say it will get you prepared for down south. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, man, I'm just, once again, man, for anybody, for all the innocent ones, especially the innocent black folk that got caught in this tornado, man, I pray to God that you get all the help that you need. But as far as the ones that wished it bad luck on me, didn't want to see me have nothing, didn't want to see me have shit, guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This also was your karma. And guess what? It's been a long time coming. You dig what I'm saying? But you know what? Hey, y'all be safe, and I'll get to the next one. October 9th, 2025. Yeah, man, it's Stephan here, man. I'm back out here, back in the Midwest in St. Louis, Missouri. And where I'm at now is I'm at the Forest Park in the Central West End area. You dig what I'm saying? Of course, as you see, the tree, one of the roots is uplifted from the tree that got cut down from the tornado that happened back in May 16, 2025 of this year. So I'm gonna get down to it. With this tornado that hit, man, you know what? I pray to God that all the innocent ones, especially the innocent black folk that got caught in this tornado, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But as far as the ones that wished it bad luck on me, in a negative way, not in a positive way, but in a negative way, wished all them different forms of witchcraft and wished nothing but bad for me, wished all kind of bad luck for me, guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma, and it's been a long time coming. Man, I'm going to get down to the relationships part, where it started at back in the Lou. With me, of course, the bad relationships part. You know what I'm saying? Of course, just by me coming from an abusive household, in which, yeah, it was 2 parents. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, behind closed doors, yeah, it looked like I had 2 parents, back on the north side. But at the same time, behind closed doors, I was really getting raised by a single mom, because of the simple reason I don't remember nothing positive about that marriage, about that relationship, nothing. You dig what I'm saying? My moms and pops slept in 2 separate rooms. I ain't never seen them give each other a hug or a kiss or nothing. You dig what I'm saying? So, of course, Pops was always abusive to me, physically, verbally, and, emotionally. And so, he was the same thing with my moms too. So, but, it was like I knew how to love, but I didn't know how to show it because of the simple reason of the hardships I went through as a child. You dig what I'm saying? And I had to, and it ended up helping me learn how to take those, pretty much deaden that love in order for me to survive out on these streets. You dig what I'm saying? It was to a point, man, that when I did start getting into relationships and stuff like that, man, not all, but most of the women I ran across was just damaged, man. Most of my life, most of the women I ran across at the time were just damaged, because so many, these neck bone knickers, then pretty much ran them down like crazy and everything else. It was to the point that every time I ran across them, man, they be all fucked up, man. You dig what I'm saying? you know, and they used to always take shit out on me so much, and I ain't even know where it was coming from, you know, and just by me having a mouth, I lash on back, you know, calling them, you know, in my own, like letting them know, damn, you know, bitch, what the hell wrong with you? You dig what I'm saying? That was, let's just say at that time, me saying it like that, that was my way of saying, where is this coming from? You dig what I'm saying? I didn't understand why I was attracting not all, but most of these, you know, damaged women. You know what I'm saying? I started attracting them more when I was like, when I got out on them streets, you know, in teenage years and in my early 20s, when I got out there, you know, hustling, banging, and all that stuff. You dig what I'm saying? And, you know, it was like the ones that were damaged like that, man, you know, they came cussing me out. I came cussing them out so much that I ran across so many of them, it got to the point that I accidentally, when I ran across a few innocent ones that didn't deserve it, I accidentally gave them that, not physical, but verbal abuse. I accidentally gave them that verbal abuse, man. You dig what I'm saying? Because I was going through so much at a young age, and out on these streets, I was already a walking time bomb as it was. So it was like, man, I just didn't know how to, you know, say certain things, or, you know how to, you know, just endure, because I was going through so much. But I will say this though, man, I know I said this before, but I will say this though, as far as those few innocent ones, those few innocent women, man, that I accidentally, verbally, you know, lashed out on, you know, I just want you to know that I sincerely apologize, you know, for you being a part of my emotional drive-by, all because I was mad at mama and I hated my pops. That's just the bottom line. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, again, I sincerely apologize for you to get caught in for you to accidentally get caught in my emotional drive-by, all because I was mad at mama and I hated my pops. You dig what I'm saying? That's real talk. But anyway, got that out the way. But anyway, as I was, you know, running across, you know, all these bad women, the few good ones that I did run across also, where I knew that we would have had a great relationship, good relationship, man, people always came in between to mess it up. Here's the thing. I always ran across those ones where it was three things. I'll run across that one that I like crazy, but she not liking me like that. But then I'll run across that one where she liking me like crazy, but I'm not liking her like that. But every time I ran across that one where me and her liking each other, I'm talking about where we damn near in love with each other. You dig what I'm saying? Something always came in the middle just to mess it up. Like people. You know what I'm saying? You know, people don't want to see us happy, putting all kind of negative bugs in their ears, saying things negative about me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, bitter girlfriends want to be a part of the picture, always starting drama. You dig? You know, just make it, you know, just start drama, just be starting. It's just keep us separated. You dig what I'm saying? Not only that, but you always had that ex-baby daddy or that ex-boyfriend, that psychotic ex-boyfriend on top of that don't want to let go, that's always stalking her, or, you know, she didn't, or he want to fight me or have a shootout with me, all because of this particular chick. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, man, it was crazy how, and this be the same type of dudes where the chicks already done put a restraining order on them 18 hours ago, and they still want to do dumb shit. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, it was like I had to take a good hiatus on the relationship part, and that's another reason why I ain't have kids just yet, because, man, I ain't want to be stuck with these crazy bras, one of these crazy bras for the rest of my life. Don't get me wrong. I know everybody got a little bit of, crazy in them, but the ones I ran across, look, I had to make sure my pull-out game was on point, because I did not want to be stuck with one of them crazy bras for the rest of my life. For two, another reason why I didn't have kids just yet, because the abuse the physical and the verbal and emotional abuse that my pops took me through, you know, you dig what I'm saying? Man, I did not want to have kids, and I accidentally passed that abuse down to them. I knew for firsthand I did not want to do that at all. You dig what I'm saying? So, man, so I had to make sure over the years I healed myself. And over the years, man, it took me about, yeah, got a Spanish Civil War cannon right here. You dig? I just thought I'd show that to you right quick. Yeah, man, the tornado raised the trunk off this motherfucker. God damn, but yeah, man, but yeah, and there goes another trunk. But but anyway, man, yeah, so hey, I had to you know, look back on that marriage just to realize how, wow, I was going through all these messed up relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I had to look back on that marriage, man. And you know what? When I did, hey, you know, I got the closure from it. And I had to, you know, just find a way to turn it around and get more help for myself. You dig what I'm saying? It took me about 13 and a half years to get myself together mentally and spiritually once I left up out of St. Louis. You dig what I'm saying? So I had to make sure that, you know, I got myself healed. You know, of course, I'm ready for a relationship now. And, you know, I want that right one, but I want that right one, not know any right one, but the right one for me. The one that I feel mentally, spiritually, and physically. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, right along with that, man, you know, yeah, because when it comes to all them old bad relationships or ones that wished it bad luck on me, man, guess what? The curse has been broken. It's over with, man. You're done. You're finished. You know, like I said, as far as all the innocent people, as far as the innocent ones, especially the innocent black ones that got caught in this tornado, once again, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But the ones that wished it bad luck on me, that use not in a positive way, but in a negative way. Not in a positive way, but in a negative way. They use different forms of witchcraft on me, all because they didn't want to see me make it, all because they didn't want to see me in a good relationship, all because they didn't, you know, want to see me have nothing, all because they wanted to see me suffer, they wanted to see me dead, they wanted to see me locked up, they wanted to see me wallow in the mud, everything. Guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado is your karma, and it's been a long time coming. And the ones that's that tornado, your karma, guess what? I do not feel sorry for you. None. I don't, man. I don't feel sorry for you for the simple reason, man, you wished everything bad on me to make me suffer too long. It's over with. It's done. You're finished. You dig what I'm saying? No more. I'll start off by saying, ladies, especially all my sisters out there, of course, my sisters, I ain't gonna never give up on you, so just want you to know that. But ladies, look, if you still suffering from trauma through all your past relationships or whatever, please go get some help, go get some counseling, psychiatric help, but without medication though, no medications, just the counseling part, and get healed. You dig what I'm saying? You know, same thing with fellas too. You dig what I'm saying? If, you know, you ran across that chick that, you know, hey, drug you down or whatever, mentally and spiritually, man, go somewhere and get healed, man. But I'll tell you this though, fellas, you know, hey, if you run across that one, you know, chick that's cool or whatever, hey, you know, got her things together, got her shit together, hey, you might want to hold on to her. Ladies, if you run across that dude that's cool, that brother that's cool as hell, that's, especially if he's street smart and book smart too, that's, you know, getting somewhere in life or doing his best to get somewhere in life, hey, don't run him away. You got to hold on to him. And that's the problem. It was a lot of chicks in the past that ran me off. You dig? A lot of them that ran me off. But you know what? I like to thank them for this messed up experience, the fucked up experience that they gave me. I learned a lot from it. Of course, I didn't like it, but I learned a lot from it. And guess what? Man, I done moved on, man. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, wish you the best. That's all I can say. But anyway, you know what? Hey, this the end of this, man. The cycle has been broken. You know what? And y'all be safe, and I'll holler right back at you. October 11, 2025. Yeah, man, it's Stephan back here in the Midwest, back in the north side of St. Louis, Missouri. And, of course, where I'm at, man, is the old neighborhood, you know, the old hangout, the old block, the Dub 7 block, right here on Marcus Ave in Northland, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm on the Kennelly part, but Northland is like right across the street, right over there where, you know, the street is at, you know, going up that way. But, yeah, the Dub 7 block, man, you know, where, you know, the 107 Hoover chapter in St. Louis, you know, is located at. You dig what I'm saying? You know, in the Lou, you dig? So my old stomping grounds, you dig what I'm saying? And of course, as you see, you know, the tornadoes that happened back in May 16, 2025 of this year, you know, took out, you know, Legends Bar and stuff like that. It didn't really take it out totally, but, you know, hey, it's still standing though, so I'm pretty sure they still work on it. Black-owned business, you know what I'm saying? Once again, when it comes to this tornado, man, I pray to God that as far as the innocent ones, especially all the innocent black ones, black folk, man, I pray that they got caught up in this tornado. I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But as far as people that wished it bad luck on me, man, and all that doing that, you know, that you know, negative, not positive, but in a negative form version of witchcraft and all of that, man, this tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma, and it's been a long time coming. Man, you know, I'm going to get down to the streets part, man, in which, you know, when it comes to these streets, man, hey, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? You know, just by, you know, South Central LA being my second home, you know what I'm saying? 107 Hoover Criminal always been my, you know, stomping ground. Of course, I'm going to always be from there. I'm always be from Hoover. I'm always be from, you know, the Dub 7 block of Marcus Ave and STL. You know, hey, I'm like Master P. I represent both sides. You know what I'm saying? I represent the Midwest and the West Coast. You dig what I'm saying? So, but anyway, but when it comes to the history of the streets, I remember when I said on one video, man, that, you know, in these streets in the Lou, you know, okay, when the slave masters, you know, back in 1865, right way after slavery passed, them slave masters, you know, came up with a Ku Klux Klan chapter in the state of Missouri, and, you know, they stuck with that mentality, you know, you owe us your life. Well, that ghost's been haunting this whole state, especially the city of St. Louis, for the past 159 years, you know, because when it comes to these streets here, it's the same way, man. You know, some of these Negroes, man, you know, hey, they be like, hey, when they get into you, it's like, oh, you owe us your life. That's how they think, you know, the average one anyway. And then on top of that, man, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, I'm always, you know, be from here, but at the same time, I had to make a change in my life. You dig what I'm saying? I had to do something that was better. You know, I had to do some things, man, get the hell up out of here, man, and use my talents, use my gifts and my talents and not put them to waste. You dig what I'm saying? See, you know, it's like, because it's like, man, when you start, you know, going through all this stuff, man, out on these streets, man, from the, you know, the hustling, the banging, and yeah, it start off pretty good, but then when you start finding out who your real friends are, which it ain't many, you know, when you start finding out, you know, who will have your back on the hardest times, in which it ain't many, you dig what I'm saying? I mean, man, it's like, it got to the point that when I got away, man, it just seemed like over the years, man, especially within the past 25 years, man, I ain't do nothing but just, you know, just straight, you know, kept doing my own thing and building myself up and getting myself together mentally and spiritually. Because it was like I just been screening my calls for years now, of course, when I say this part, don't get me wrong, when a lot of people call me, a lot of times I don't be, able to answer right then and there because I be just, busy a lot. But eventually I will call you back. Don't get me wrong, leave a message, all that. But man, I just been screening my calls to a certain degree because with certain cats, it took me a long time for a while for me to realize that the only time that I really heard from certain folks is either they want something, or when it was time to put some work in, or they just want money. That's it. You dig what I'm saying? A good, not all, but a good number of them, large number of them didn't care about, my own well-being and none of that. You dig what I'm saying? So, and of course, no offense to the ones that did care. No, I'm not talking about you, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about, the ones that they just looking for somebody to use. You dig what I'm saying? Because, man, even when I was out on these streets, man, it got to the point after, a long while, man, the backstabbing started happening. You know how it is when you grow up, with certain cats. You know what I'm saying? Attitudes get worse. Hey, Negroes' chest start getting to poking out more. Some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons. But then it's some for, the right reasons to make sure they protecting themselves out here. And I was one of the ones, I was just protecting myself out here, doing what I had to do to survive. You dig what I'm saying? So, just to roll it all up in one nutshell, man, hey, you just get tired of getting burned, man. That's just the bottom line. You just get tired of, it was already bad enough that, your own family didn't want to, support you for real. You dig what I'm saying? Or, didn't want to have anything do with you except for a few cousins that have your back. But then, you get out on these streets, man, you just feel like you still alone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm out here, strapped, had my switchblade, all that. You dig what I'm saying? And I just still felt alone, except for a few homeboys that I knew we had each other back because of the simple reason we all felt the same way. But at least we had each other's back, and we was watching each other, in which that's all that matters. No politics, no none of that. Just, hey, let's make this money, and hey, let's just look out for each other. And at the same time, if anybody got better goals in life, hey, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? When I told some of my homeboys, a few of my homeboys actually, I told a few that I was leaving, they was like, man, get up out of here. Man, hey, you doing something good with your artwork, get up out of here, ain't nothing here. You dig what I'm saying? So I left up out of here, in December of '99 to be exact. Then after that, I went on, left down to Memphis and the Memphis College of Art, down back in the early 2000s. Better yet, I brung in the new millennium, turning my whole life around. Right after the 90s, I brung in the new millennium, turning my whole life around, man. And I just took it from there. You dig? So it's like, man, I comes back here, years later, hey, look, hey, you see the aftermath now. You dig? So, yeah, and again, man, when it comes to this tornado, man, for all the innocent people, especially the innocent black people that got caught in this tornado, once again, man, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But hey, this boy Legends, in which is a black-owned boy right here, what I'm saying, I pray to God that this place get fixed up, man, for more and more of us, to have a place to go and have a good time at and stop killing each other. You dig what I'm saying? Stop that. But as far as the ones that wished it bad luck on me, that wished it all, nothing but bad luck on me, that didn't want to see me have nothing, that didn't want to see me make it, that wanted to see me dead, wanted to see me locked up. And even if you didn't want to see me do that, you just wanted to see me suffer, period. Guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma. And it's been a long time coming. A long time coming. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, you can't just be wishing bad on folks, man, all because you all fucked up. You dig what I'm saying? Because I knew I had to go ahead and get some help. You dig? I had to get some motherfucking help. I had to start somewhere, you know, a counselor or something. I ain't taking no medications. No, don't do that. But either way, man, look, hey, get yourself together, man, the best way you can. That's all. Even if it's by baby steps, you dig? I mean, and guess what? You know what? The cycle with all with this spiritual cleansing that happened in this city, guess what? Man, all them curses and all that mess, man, you know what? The cycle has been broken. You know what I'm saying? There ain't gonna be no more of all this using a negative version, not a positive, but a negative. Ain't gonna be no more using a negative version of witchcraft. Nuh-uh. Nah, stop casting them spells on folks, man, all because your ass miserable. You dig what I'm saying? Stop doing that. Because it ain't going to do nothing but fuck you up down the line. You know, and then you going to bring another generation and another generation, and you going to fuck them all up, all because you didn't, you know, fucked up somebody else, all because, you know, all because you didn't even like them for whatever your messed up reason is. So, you know what? Stop that shit. You dig what I'm saying? But you know what? Hey, man, it's Stephan, man, you know, back in the old neighborhood. Of course, I'll show you a little bit. Hold up. Yeah. Legends Bar and Grill, man. They got some good catfish and salmon croquette, though. Of course, at least they did the parking lot up, which that's great news. Yeah, it was some houses, other houses over here, even though they was vacant, but we used to hang out in these parts, man. You dig what I'm saying? But as you see, none but a land now. Yeah, ain't that much change. Yeah, but you know what, man? Hey, you know what? Hey, y'all be safe, and I'll holler right back at you. Yo, this October 10th, 2025. Yeah, man, it's Stephan, man. I'm back here, you know, in the Midwest, back in St. Louis, Missouri, visiting. And, of course, I'm right here, you know, on the west side part of St. Louis, where, you know, the old house of my grandma, Blanche Henny Cadell, and my granddad, Ernest Cadell Sr., you know, was at. Of course, this lot right here, but the house no longer exists. Yeah, man, you know what? I remember I was talking about, once again, the tornado that happened in St. Louis back in May 16th of 2025 of this year, in which I will say this. Now, once again, for all the innocent people, especially the innocent black folk that got caught up, you know, in this tornado, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But as far as the ones that, you know, wished it bad luck on me and wished it bad luck on others that's just like me as well, and, you know, doing all this, didn't want to see us have nothing, or didn't want to see us, you know, just in a negative way, not in a positive way, but in a negative way, you know, wishing all this different forms of witchcraft on us. Guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma, and it's been a long time coming. You know, in this video, you know what, in this video, I'm gonna get right to it, man, when it comes to family. You dig what I'm saying? I ain't talking about all family, but when you come from a scandalous family, you know what I'm saying? Especially back in St. Louis, man. Your own family will see you suffer, man. Your own family will kill you out here, man. They don't give a fuck. You dig what I'm saying? And if they don't kill you, they'll love to see you suffer. They'll love to see you scramble, wallow in the mud, and then they'll kick you hard while you're down. Oh, yeah. They will kick you hard while you down, man. And that's another reason why this house been tore down, you know, for the past, what, maybe 20 years now, because there was so many bad spirits in this family. You dig what I'm saying? With so many, you know, bad spirits in that house. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, of course, you know, I came from an abusive household on the north side of St. Louis, right there on Labadie and Marcus. So, I mean, hey, man, it's something else. You know, I remember when my cousin Mia Cadell was living in this house on Ridge right after my grandma passed in July 4th of 1996. And then, of course, I remember that when, but a year later, man, them scandalous aunties I know, man, got a damn, you know, one of them, you know, got a, you know, eviction notice sent to her on Valentine's Day. I'm talking about on February 14th, 1997, my cousin me ended up getting an eviction notice sent to the house. You know what I'm saying? At this, where the house was at. And she had to get out. And the only reason why they did that, because some scandalous aunties knew that she knew the truth about them. They knew that I knew the truth about them, including, you know, a few other people in the family that's been outcasted and, you know, pretty much, you know, got kicked around and all that stuff. And so then, on top of that, it was this one house that was across the street, a 4-family flat, in which that ain't no longer there no more. Better yet, let me show you across the street. Hold on. Yeah. You see that? Ain't nothing but an empty lot. No, not that one. But that 4-family flat that used to be right here, where that, hold on, let me flip the camera up right quick. Yeah, that empty lot I just showed you was a 4-family flat where them evil aunties was paying, you know, some old, I forgot that lady name, man, but she was a side wig wearing motherfucker. You know, they was paying her to watch Mia move up out the house and make sure she get up out of there. It was something like that. Either way, she was just a nosy little heifer that was just miserable. That's all, you know. And man, one thing about it, man, when it comes to the Cadells out here, man, in St. Louis, not all of them, but the majority of them, mainly that older generation, man, where, man, they just love to see you suffer, man. Always want to play mind games and take control and you know, want to control your life and all. And I know with me, I was one of the ones that wasn't having that. You dig what I'm saying? Your own family out here would do you so bad that it got to the point that I got a couple of cousins, man, that nobody ain't heard in 30 years. You know, they done ran folks off. They done ran me off. You dig what I'm saying? So, I mean, again, man, as far as anybody all the innocent ones, especially the innocent black folk that got caught in this tornado, I pray to God that you get all the help you need and then some. But it's the ones that wished it bad luck on me, didn't want to see me make it, wanted to see me fail, the whole 9 yards. Guess what? This tornado was a spiritual cleansing. This tornado was your karma. And again, it's been a long time coming. Yeah, and plus, man, it was like, you know, when it came to family-wise, man, it was like, for us, the cousins, including me, man, we was all, man, a lot of us was all getting kicked around and, you know, got abused and sacrificed in some kind of way. You dig what I'm saying? Them evil aunties, and which is only a few of them left now, you know, I ain't tripping on them now for the simple reason, you know, they is in their damn 80s now. They done got old, they done got tired, they done got sick. You dig what I'm saying? And they expect somebody to feel sorry for them. You know what? No, because look, the generational curse has been broken because of the simple reason, you know, all the behind the scenes undercover witchcraft and all that's been happening in the family with the mental illness and all that stuff. Man, look, y'all been having, through the family, man, there's been so many lies that's been told, you know, a lot of backstabbings, a lot of backbitings, the deceit, the treachery, the subterfuge, the allegations, the whole 9 yards. I'm talking about for damn near 100 years, man. I'm talking 80 to damn near 100 years. guess what? The cycle been broken. It's over. You know, no more of that. You dig what I'm saying? I remember when you evil aunties, you know, Estelle Shockley. I hate to say names, but Estelle Shockley, Dorothy Clark when she was in town, Jean Cadell Coleman, Emma Cadell. I remember y'all used to plan all them old secret meetings up in this house right here when it was on Ridge. I remember, seeing that behind closed doors. Yeah, I planned a few secret meetings at the old house on Labadee on the north side at my mom's house, for a long time. You dig what I'm saying? And you didn't know that I was, there when y'all was planning all this stuff. You dig what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was snooping around, just, being nosy. No, I just happened to catch it out the clear blue. You dig what I'm saying? And I knew that as soon as I hurry up and snuck around the corner, everything I was hearing, I knew y'all was up to no good. You dig what I'm saying? How you gonna plan a secret meeting at my mom's house without my mom's didn't even know it, while my mom's was in the house, in the basement, doing hair? Come on, man. How low life is that? And then all of a sudden, y'all gonna have the nerve to, get together and go to church and all this stuff up to Tri-Union AME Church, in which that's the most hypocritical church I ever got exposed to ever since I was a kid. And that's the reason why I don't go to church to this day, and I ain't going now. But anyway, hey, man, y'all done did too much, man, including my pops. Yep. His abusive ass, Ernest Cadell Jr. Yep, that's my pops. Yep, because when he died back in August of 1999, man, that was in St. Louis. That was the first happiest thing that ever happened to me in my life, was his death. You dig what I'm saying? Now, true enough, man, when I say these things, I do not wish death on nobody. No, I don't. I do not wish death on nobody. But man, when it comes to the few you evil aunties that's still out here that's left, man, I'm glad that y'all starting to fade away, literally, because y'all done caused too much damage, man. And then it got to the point with some of us cousins, as far as the ones that rebelled back like me, man, we spent half of our life, damn near a quarter of a century, just figuring stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Just figuring life out. You dig? Yeah, we was just too busy figuring it out. I had to get the hell up out of St. Louis, man, because I knew it wasn't nothing but a dead end for me, because, hell, when I was living here growing up, hell, I had one foot in the grave and another foot in the jailhouse, in the penitentiary. You dig what I'm saying? So I had to leave, and do something better. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I recovered. It took me about 13 and a half years to get myself together mentally and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I did that. Yeah, speak of evil aunties, which the few main ones that still left, I say the top one is Estelle Cadell Shockley. Yeah, your ass. Boy, you evil motherfucker. Look, you want somebody to forgive you for all the dirt that you done did, but you cannot make up for 50 years or 50 plus years worth of backstabbing, deceit, treachery, subterfuge, and allegations that you literally had fun doing. You can't make up for that. You dig what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey, for myself and for myself only, I forgive you. But hey, you got to pay that's the reason why you're paying the piper right now. You dig what I'm saying? That's the reason why. You just straight up just miserable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you've been dead long time ago. You died when your husband, Bobby Joe Shockley, died in Vietnam. Don't get me wrong. Much respect to him. Rest in peace to Bobby Joe Shockley. I ain't gonna, but you died when he died. Only difference is you just ain't been buried just yet. You dig what I'm saying? So, And then you the main one that caused all this drama. See, they use Aunt Dorothy, you know, she was more of the mastermind. And of course, cousin Teresa was also the mastermind too. You know, Aunt Jean, she was more of you know, the sophisticated one, but she wasn't no better than y'all. You dig what I'm saying? Now, Estelle, you was the one that did majority of the dirt. Now, don't get me wrong, all of y'all did y'all dirt physically, but you did the most, about 75%. You did so much dirt, it got to the point that once they died off, they pretty much, you know, they must have, you know, planned it. They planned it out so they can put all the dirt on you. You stupid ass. But anyway, man, I mean, yeah. And then on top of that, you know, y'all wondering why y'all, you know, sitting back suffering now. But you know what, man, this family getting right back together, man. You know what I'm saying? From St. Louis all the way to back to California. You dig? This family is getting back together. The cycle has been broken. You know what I'm saying? There ain't gonna be no more of that behind the scenes backstabbing and backbiting and all that, you know, things like that. Oh, another thing too. Yeah, another thing is that, man, y'all don't care if anybody in the family living or dying. All y'all want is money. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when I first left, look, when I was growing up back here, y'all didn't even care when I was struggling. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even care, you know, if I was getting kicked around hard or not. But the second I get up out of here, get me a bachelor's degree, move out to California, and all of a sudden, the second you hear that I'm making it, you know, with, besides me working doing security, but I'm been making it with my artwork, stand-up comedy, acting, and spoken word, and artwork. All of a sudden, y'all want to be it on this tip to so-called make this amends. You know, oh, okay, now I'm your cousin. The only reason why y'all really wanted to make this quote-unquote so-called amends with me, because you waiting on that day when I really, really blow up, you know, like on Tubi or Bounce TV or BET or whatever, Comedy Central, HBO, whatever. You waiting on that day to really, when I really blow up, just so you can call yourself trying to cash in, quote-unquote. Guess what? That ain't happening. You dig what I'm saying? That's not happening at all. Because because all y'all want is money, you know, and you ain't getting a half of a penny cut in half with bow cutters from me. You dig what I'm saying? So when it comes to the family force, you know, since the cycle has been broken, when it comes to this family, as far as the ones that want to get along, I'm going to say this, as far as the ones that want to get along, hey, why don't we get together and, you know, do something? I know some of our work schedules is crazy, but hey, it's all good. We'll find something to do, you know, family reunion, getting to something. You dig what I'm saying? But now, as far as the ones that still, for certain ones that still want to have that backstabbing mentality, that backbiting mentality or whatever, you know what? This only for certain cousins that's still on that same tip. You know what? Y'all need a, yeah, as far as y'all certain ones, man, y'all just need an island for yourselves full of bunch of OJ knives so y'all can just backstab each other all you want. Best believe I am not going to be there. Stephan Cadell is not going to be there at all. So, look, love you, but at the same time, y'all need an island of yourselves, because I don't care if you check each other's colon with Freddy Krueger's claws. But yet, I don't care if you check each other's prostate with Leatherface's chainsaw. So, yeah, so, hey, because like I said, you know, don't get me wrong, you know, I ain't going to deny you as family, but it's just that you ain't invited to the party. You ain't invited to the family. You know, even when we, you know, end up having a family business, you sure ain't invited to that, because any backstabbers of any sort, hey, you ain't invited to the party at all. You know what I'm saying? And oh yeah, Yeah, I'm gonna get down to this too. When I written that 90-page letter to Estelle Shockley 20 years ago, back in what, 2005 and 6. The reason why, because, man, look, when back in 04, when I graduated from college, you know, she sent me a family reunion invitation. And I called her up and told her I ain't want to come. And I told her to stop sending me stuff. And keep in mind, when I said all this, I was a gentleman about it. I didn't cuss at her, nothing. You know, until all of a sudden, when she just kept following, you know, kept finding out where I was at, you know what I'm saying? You know, from out here to California, all of a sudden, she just kept on harassing me. Kept harassing. And next thing you know, about a year later, I wrote a 90-page cuss-out letter. Actually, it was 3 cuss-out letters, you know, 30 pages each. So that makes 90. And I pretty much put down, you know, told her about herself. You dig what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much enough on the family thing, man. But you know what? The generational curse has been broken. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that grandma and grandpa, you know, they pretty much glad that, you know, that the generational curse been broken as well, you know, and things like that. But you know what? Hey, y'all be safe, and I'll holler right back at you. Yeah, man. Hey, this is the Central West End, man, down here on Euclid, you know, coming off Delmar. And as you see, Central West End, man, when I was like, what, in my teens, this is one of the few places I knew I can come here, you know, to give me a peace of mind that, you know, this when I started learning about a peace of mind, and I started venturing out, you know, to different areas, you know what I'm saying? And plus, I was doing what I could at the time just to, you know, just for a minute, get away from the chaos in the hood. You dig what I'm saying? So, man, it was you know, it was a lot, you know. It was a calm area, you know what I'm saying? You know, calm environment. And, yeah, and also, you know, I started seeing, you know, all these nice houses or whatever. And at the time, in my own words and in my own curse words, I was saying to myself, damn, man, these folks is living. I want to live like that. You dig what I'm saying? Folks having a peace of mind, the whole 9 yards. And I mean, man, you know, you could just look at how lovely it is, man, and everything. And it was cool, though. You know what I'm saying? Still is to this day, you know. You got a lot of, you know, a lot of business people over here and things like that. Man, I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. You dig what I'm saying? As you see, back on Euclid and Lindell, you know, I mean, this is, hey, Central West End. Further down is all the hospital areas at Barnes Jewish Hospital, all that stuff. You dig? And, man, you know, you just couldn't go wrong with the peace of mind, you know? Yeah, now I just made a right turn down to Lindell and Kings Highway on the Central West End, you dig? And man, you know, they still building, you know, but as you see, they build this big old skyscraper. Yeah, and of course, going down Lindell, getting ready to enter Forest Park, which it is pretty much one of the biggest parks in the city, where the St. Louis Zoo at, the whole 9 yards. And of course, yeah, you got mansions over here too, and all that stuff. Yeah, see the view. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, the tornado, you know, knocked a lot of trees down over this way, but, you know, far as the ones that's cut, you dig what I'm saying? That big old stump. you know, and some more stumps. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, man, the Central West End was the first place, man, where I started learning what a peace of mind feels like. You dig what I'm saying? But hey, you know what? Hey, you know, y'all be